Jayrek Diaries. Yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to another Boardroom Talks. Emergency meeting settings. It needed to be done. I can't even lie. When I called this meeting, I was expecting a certain statement to be out because it's fair enough after the couple results. You thought the club might act. They haven't so far, but even though they've not acted in that front, they've also not acted in the transfer window. We're 28 days in, 5 days left of the window, and we've just signed a goalkeeper. So yeah, man, there's a lot to talk about, a lot to get into today. But before we do any of that, let me just introduce my guests that are on time. We do have more people, but you know, BMT, Black Man Timing, like everyone's gonna run at their different. It's gonna be sometimes 9 is 9:15, some 9:30, some it's cool. Everyone's just gonna jump in and out when they're ready. So people are gonna be here. But first but very not least, we've got new member to the boardroom. He's been making waves in the YouTube scene at the moment, you know, rookie of the year settings. But man, like Hotspur Cave, Jay, what are you saying, my bro?
Big up, man. Big up. Love for having me. Debut appearance on Boardroom Talks, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully I don't drop a stinker, as they like to say. But no, big up everyone, big up the panel, obviously big up everyone that's gonna pull up as well.
Nah, don't
live stream. You know it's a family, man. You know it's a family, man. We just hit 400. So big up.
I see that today. Man hit 400. Big up to Jay on the 400. Make sure that everyone's names, everyone's descriptions, all their YouTube channels is in the description. So head down there to make sure you can check them out. But luckily for you, Jay, we don't do no stinker and hooked over here. That's just Lee Gunner, man. I can't take that one. So you're all good. No stinkers over here getting dropped. But again, moving onwards from Jay, we've got two returning faces, two guys you definitely know about. Mr. Box Office crashing it on Spurs whenever he can, but given the realness, the much needed realness. Alex, how you been, my bro?
Well, I'm just vibing, bro. I'm just vibing. Seriously, because no drama here. So it's not like I haven't told you. Simple as that, bro. I'm just vibing because I know where this is going. So and I'm not surprised by that statement. So, no, like I said,
definitely.
I've been mentioned anyway earlier. So, to be honest with you, I couldn't care less what's going on at Tottenham at the moment. It's not like it's not happened before, is it? You know what I mean? So,
and that's it. As you can hear, some of us are defeated. Some of us are just surviving. But Alex, he saw this a long way away. He did call a lot of this out and called a lot of players out, a lot of the managers out, and you know, all the things we're gonna get into. So he hasn't got the emotion. He's not wearing his heart on his sleeve no more because he accepted it where we're at. But some of us are still there. But last but very not least, man like Ash, been on the channel too many times. You guys know where to find him. Spurs Kings. This is actually gonna go straight over to Spurs Kings after this show. So make sure you're tuned in and checked out for that. But Ash, how you been, bro?
Cuzzies, man them, gal them, all of them. Big up the chat. It's your boy Ash Mack inside the building. You know how it goes, man. Boardroom Talks, we do what we do. And we have to put out some fingers and say, you're fired. You're fired. You know what I'm saying? It's those type of settings right now, bro. Because right now, listen, Spurs like to embarrass us, but this is a different level. I don't know. I can't remember the last time we've been this low on the table. I'll be real, cuz. You know what I mean? Back in the 90s, 10th, 11th, maybe a like 13th, 14th, but 15th? I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. This is mad. This is kind of crazy.
Nah, facts. Relegation battle sends.
I would say congratulations right now, bro. We're at war, man. But yeah, man, I'm good otherwise. You know me. I'm easy.
Nah, 100%, 100%. And like you said it there, I don't think Spurs has been this bad anytime in a very, very, very long time. And we're close to the relegation than we are to the teams above us. Literally, I think Man United is 5 points clear of us, but like Ipswich is 4 points behind us or something like that. So they're crawling, they're trying to catch us, they're trying to get us. But before we get into everything, look, let me just big up to the people in the chat. Big up to Prince of Zamunda. Big up to you, my bro. Neil Gunner, each and every single time. Freddie SP, you guys need to be on pause. Chills, what's good, everybody? Good. What's up to you, my boy Chills? Each and every time. Big up to you, man like Hoodie Diaries. Come on, man. The hairline's looking mad right now. we can't get that one now. And can't wait till Brentford broke you. I ain't even going to speak about that game. We're going to focus on what's currently happening at that game. We'll get round to that game eventually. And big up to you, Amari, as well. But let's talk about it. Look, Leicester on the weekend, we know what happened. Some of us expected to win, some of us expected to lose. I'm just going to leave it to you guys. And we don't have to talk about the whole game, but just the biggest talking points of the game. Obviously, the fact that we was leading 1-0, imploded ourselves after half time. I'm going to go straight to you, Alex. What was your biggest problem with that game? Was it the approach? Was it Angie's lack of tactical adaptability in the game? Was it the players not showing up? Where was your main issue with that performance?
Before I start talking, because you know what, I'm tired of saying the same thing. So that's the thing. I just want to say some nice things. Firstly, it's so good to have Hotspur Cave on here. By the way, Jay. By the way, right? I said Ash can vouch me for it. I said, Ash, when I saw this guy on YouTube, I said, get him on, right? And another one as well, Elijah. If you're on the chat, bruv, love that
Elijah's
video you did.
Elijah's due to come up here, man.
Elijah, I love that video you did. Again, I told Ash and I told Marlon as well, right? Straight away. Yeah. So I recognize when I see something good. You know what I mean? So there's something, and also George always there to represent like every single time. So yeah, that's the positives out the way. You know what I mean? Because I need something good right now. I'm gonna have to get an apple juice as well, right? The thing that annoyed me about on Saturday, yeah, and this is why when I won the football toast, I absolutely ripped one, because I went mad. I think I was holding it in because I just felt like last couple of months I was just thinking, well, it's not like I've not seen this before. I was just vibing. It wasn't gonna get mad, but I think after Leicester game, I went mad. Yeah, because I normally go to games. I do normally go to games, but I was expecting us to win. And the thing that annoyed me is that we don't grind out results. And that's why I think we're in trouble. We're in massive trouble now. This is where I'm really concerned now, because I don't think they recognise that we're in trouble anymore. I don't think they recognise we're in trouble. I don't even think Ange recognises we're in trouble. I think they're thinking, oh, when we get our players back, we're still going to be good. What happened against Ipswich? We had all our players there. Look what happened against Crystal Palace. A first win, by the way. We had our whole team out there. Yeah, bang average Bentancur, who for me, I'm sorry, when I'm seeing Burval playing better than him, who's raw, by the way, who's raw, that still needs experience next to him, by the way. Yeah, same with Archie Gray. Sorry,
Yep.
Right? You know what I mean? When I'm seeing those players playing better than bloody Bentancur, I don't care whether he's been injured. I don't care. Your experience, you've won championships at bloody Juventus. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's embarrassing. Yeah. They ripped through our midfield like it was no tomorrow in that second half. Not like the first half was anything good anyway. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? In the cold for some of the fans, I felt sorry for the fans. I've got to be honest. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then, the strike force. Okay, Richarlison, good goal, but what else did he do? You know what I mean? Poro. I've always said he should be attacking. He should be up the field more, right? As a defender, he's crap, right? You know what I mean? You know, Davis. I mean, I don't know why people are having the guy at Davis. Yes, he wasn't great in the second half. Yes, he wasn't, but he's been our best defender. You know what I mean? By none. I'm not being funny, and I'm not even counting Van der Ven, because I don't even think he can defend.
What?
I'm being honest with you. I don't even think he can defend. I don't think he's a good defender.
Big statement.
I'm being honest with you. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah.
It's a big statement. I just need to say that is a big statement. Can you expand on that? Can you expand on that a little? Because I don't want to see you wrong.
Because I don't think I think he uses his pace too much. I think his pace gets him out of trouble too much. Because I think he uses his pace too much to get out of trouble. I think Davis knows how to defend. I think he defends first, and that's it. I think he's like a Tony Adams, he knows he's not a Tony Adams sort of. He's not even a what is his face? John Terry. He's not like a Sol Cam, not like a Ledley King, not that quality. But he knows how to defend. He defends first. You know what I mean? Van der Ven and Romero are very more flashy sort of players. You know, they do the flashy things first. You know what I mean?
Can I
You
just
know?
ask? I don't want to stop you, Alex, but just do you think Davies is a better defender than Van der Ven?
At the moment, this season, yes.
But overall, just of what you've seen with them, because obviously you've only seen Van der Ven for 18 or so months. So I don't know. I don't know if you're just saying this season because he's not played that much, or I'm just trying to clarify.
I think at the moment, if I'm really honest with you, if you put the defenders together, I think Dragson can defend better than Van der Ven, yes. But at the moment, if overall, yeah, I think
You mean to say Davies, not Dragusin? Sorry, just to clarify.
well, I think Davis is our best defender at the moment, yes, because
Okay.
I think he knows how to defend. You see what I'm saying? When it comes down to it, when we're chips are down, when we're backs against the wall, he's the person that will clear out the ball, does the defensive things that we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Van der Ven's not a very good header of the ball, right? When the only reason why he's very, very good, he's very good pace wise. I don't think he's up there very good, and that's what a good defender does. They anticipate things. That's what the best defenders does. When you look at Van der Ven and Van Dijk, he nothing goes through him because he doesn't even need that pace because he's got it up there. He's got it up there. That's the thing. You see what I'm saying? I'm not. Listen, this is what sums up how bad our defense is. Really, let's be honest here. When I'm saying Davies is our best defender, this is why we didn't improve in this defense. In defense, we should have got defenders in the summer. But then this is the same club that said that we need to keep the pathway for Phillips and Vucevic. Phillips that and what is his name? Dorrington. And Dorrington, who he never looked at, by the way. He never even looked at, by the way. You know what I mean? And don't get me started on the wingers. Don't get me started.
No. We're gonna move there. We're gonna get round there. We're gonna.
You know what I mean? And I've got to be honest. The Leicester team impressed me more. Let's be honest here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know, Leicester team impressed me more. I like that midfielder. Was it Kozanov? I think it was. He was getting past players really well. I like the was it Samare? I think it is
Samare in the middle. Yeah,
Samare,
yeah.
He was controlling it. He, you know, I think he was at Lille before, and he
was
very
quite
slow
highly touted
start.
to have a big move and stuff, but then
He was very good. I like Justin. Justin's always impressed me. He's always impressed me. I've got to be honest. And Vardy just does what Vardy does. I've got to be honest, and that it just summed it all up really for me.
Dunks on Tottenham.
So
he loves
like,
the ball
but it's just, but I think what was worrying, right? It was okay the first half, but it's worrying that they went into the in the changing room. I think Van Nistelrooy thought, lads, this is easy. You're not testing him enough. Right, there's some things that you can just do in that second half, and we've got this. And look what happened. I'll leave it there because I know there's lots of gentlemen here that need to have their say, and that's it. Back to you, Kills. I'm done.
That's a good point. You did make some good points. I'm definitely the Davies Van der Ven. I've never heard that before, but you know what? I hear it. Moving on to Ash, because Ash, I want to make sure you get your say before you do finish.
I do not hear it. I think wild to me. I get what he's saying, like. In terms of, because
did you mean football IQ? Because if you just mean football IQ and football brain at defending, like positional, maybe
football IQ and positional, because basically I think Van der Ven's role is different to what Davies is. I think Davies is a box defender, but then again, he plays better in the back three, in my opinion, even though he's played in the back two at this period. But I think with Mickey Van der Ven, in terms of like winning the ball back, challenging, tackling, recovery runs. That's basically in this system why he's being utilized. That's what the manager's asking him to do. So it's not really Van der Ven's fault if the gaffer's saying to him, look, they're gonna play the balls over the top, but I need you to be the last man and sweep up. Remember back in the day, you used to have a sweeper. That's basically what he's doing. We got a keeper sweeper. He's doing a sweeper. Do you know what I mean? So it's two different roles. I think where Davies frustrated me in that game was the actual goal. The actual goal, it was him and Dragusin. One of them had to step up. Now, in my opinion, I thought Dragusin was being pinned by Vardy. That's why he didn't step out, because that was the difference. When you've got Romero and Van der Ven, normally Romero's the aggressor, isn't it? And Romero steps up and he's more proactive. But Dragusin's backing up. You get me? Like, I don't know. He's backing it up. Then Davies is backing it up. You know what I'm saying? Pause. But one of those defenders have to step out.
You had no intention of pausing there. Like you knew what you knew what you were doing. He knew what he was doing.
Back into it. I was gonna say that, but I was like, whoa, wait, too much. But yeah, buddy. But listen, Davies for me, he's got, because my man just used him like and bent the ball around him. I said, oh, liberties. I said, no, man used him like a code. Like, what's going on
What
here?
about this thing about that, Ash? We conceded that goal twice against Everton, where both our defenders done the exact same thing. So with that, do you now just with that? Do we look at the defenders for the fact that the defenders are defending that way, or do we look at the manager and the coach as the fact that they've not addressed that?
Nah, bro, it's the defenders, bro. Because you know what? I seen it before, Spurs. I remember Eric Dyer. I used to get pissed at him. Stop backing off. Stop backing off, bro. Step up, be aggressive. You know what I mean? And Romero was the only one that did it. It's just the way they defend. They've taught to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's basketball.
I don't want to offer a defense to the defenders because ridiculous. But the one thing I'll give El Canus, he kind of ran right in the middle of the two of them. Like, do you know what I mean? And there was almost like neither of them were decisive in like who's in control of this situation, who's pressing, and they both did nothing. Do you see what I mean?
I personally think Vardy had Dragusin pinned because Vardy was next to him. He was like, I don't know if you watch it back, you'll see that Vardy.
Well, so you think Dragusin had a man?
Yes, Dragusin basically had a man. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
And I think Davies has got to step up then, innit? Or Dragusin will communicate and say, bro, take this, brother, take Vardy.
It is also a very good strike.
That will pull, because Vardy was on the right-hand side, that would have pulled like Ben Davies out from the left side of centre-back role into that role, if that makes sense. So that doesn't make sense to me. So for me, Ben Davies, step up, do your job, defend in it, defend. Don't wait for him to get near to the box or near to the D and then allow him to bend it in. So that was, but before we get to that, because this is where we should be talking about, where was the midfield, bro? Man, they were just running through. I'll be running through the 6 foot holes. That's what the man was just running through. I couldn't believe it.
Someone put in a comment about this earlier, and just on that, just because you're speaking about it, Bentco is a natural 6, but his reading of the game is dreadful and constantly turns into pressure and loses interceptions. I think one thing I pointed out as well, his positional discipline is non-existent. He can't play the 6, man.
When he's pressed or he's got to make a quick decision, that's when his head goes, bro. I'm telling you. That's when his head is, you know what I mean? And we saw
he doesn't scat to me, like positionally there, but it's like he doesn't, like in that position, he doesn't scan enough. And I've seen a lot of people mention he's not aware in a good enough, like, you know, like real time. Like, you know, you go on Google Images and it's got like, you know, the image like from like 7 hours ago. That's kind of how Bentancur plays the 6. Yeah, it's like the image he has of what's going on is not a real-time image when he goes to play the ball. Do you know what I mean? It's from like 2 seconds ago. And then, but
for me, I think box office has got it spot on. Like Van Nistelrooy, like in that first half, I thought like they were tired and fatigued. I know it's an excuse. I don't want to bring it up, but I could just tell their decision making was off by like the way they were losing it. But credit to Leicester for pressing them so early. But at times, I thought Leicester stepped off and they did the whole like low block thing in it and allowed Spurs to, you know, dominate. But Van Nistelrooy probably spoke to him at half time, real talk, and was like, bro, we need to put it on them. We need to stick on him because we can win this game. And as soon as they did it, like literally, Spurs was sleeping, bro. Sleeping. Like before, people still having their hot dogs. You know what I mean? Still having those glizzies in their mouth. Hey, yo. But by the time they've come back to this, I know it's promised. Brother, what was happening on that pitch, bro? Charles were down. Trust me, bro. No Vaseline. Because we got the way we got 1-2. Hey, listen, I couldn't believe it. Vardy had the whole Red Bull. You know what I'm saying? They had the whole Red Bull, old school, crunched it up like it was Popeye. And it's run through us, bro. I couldn't believe it. So, yeah, man. Ange couldn't believe it. Because I remember Ange was talking to Mason, talking in his ear. I looked over. By the time he looked over, It's in the back of the net, bro. But yeah, no pause, bro. Play, man. But yeah, over back to you, George, bro.
No, for real. All right, just coming to you, Jay, Hotspur Cave, Jay.
I was gonna say.
I didn't say enough. Just do you know what? I'm gonna call him Blacks for today because that's what I call him anyway. Yeah, Blacks. Bro, what was your biggest issue? Just taking it back to the first question of why I asked Alex. What was your biggest issue with the Leicester game? Do you look at the players? Are you looking at the managers? Do you think that it's just like they're dead on their feet, so it's a bit of both? Where is your biggest problem with that performance?
Big up, everyone. Obviously, I feel like it's gotten to the point now where it's so bad that there's no longer just one problem that you can look at, because you can sit there and say, yeah, these players are not performing, but then on the other hand, half of them are dead on their feet. You can see the players are dead on their feet. By the 40th minute, you see a man huffing and puffing like they just done 10,000 meter sprint. Like, you can see that. And then at the same time, the window's open. We ain't signed nobody yet. But then Ange, again, he won't change the way he plays. So for me, there's just too much to look at. But if I was to isolate the game, it's a mentality thing, man. It's a mentality thing. The one thing I always sit there and say, yeah, is if you go in at halftime 1-0 up or 2-0 up, the first 15 to 20 minutes of the second half, compact, sit tight, frustrate the opponents, frustrate them, let them have to come out and play against us. Because again, everyone loves to talk about Ange's style and whatnot. Doesn't that play into Ange's style? Doesn't that allow the players to sit back, reserve some energy? Then what? The 70th, 60th, 70th minute, when Leicester now have to go for the game because they're in a dogfight to stay in the league, then we can start exploiting the space, bombing forward. Then you can see Porro starting getting down the right and putting the crosses into the box and all of that. But again, I think for me, the problem is Ange. He's not talking to these players. And even like I saw a freeze frame, the guy's got his screwed up and his hands in his pockets. Like he's just there. Talk. I know obviously it's hard for them to hear, but instruct the team. Lead the team, bro. Lead the team. Why is Arsenal set piece coach more active on the touchline than Ange? Like, for me, that was my biggest problem. I just thought I didn't see and notice a problem and try and fix the problem then and there. It's almost like he reacted too late. And like I said, sorry to rant, but like I said, yeah, I noticed from last season that we had a habit of conceding first and going behind, for example, or even when we have a lead, we go behind in the game. And I said already, yeah, that it's not sustainable. We can't keep clawing our way back into games, especially playing like this 3 games a week. The players aren't going to be able to do that 38 games a season. And now we're starting to see that everything that a lot of people had predicted is starting to come to the forefront. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it all, man.
No, you made some fair points. I think mentality is definitely one of the biggest issues at Spurs right now. Having a lot of young players, that doesn't help. But Jay, do you evaluate it that way? Do you think the mentality was the biggest problem, or are you focusing on the performance of the players?
What's going on, boys? You know what? I just don't know. And that's the point. That's where I'm at. I just don't know. I have no certainty in any of my thoughts as to that is the root of the problem. It's like there's the Hotspur Cave J said, like, there's a lot of points and you can't really there's nothing we can do at this moment that will fix it in one go. Like, that's the point. So it's almost like with Ange, like, the thing with me, I always try to be a bit logical. I like to think I'm like kind of like center. You know what I mean? Like, there's left, there's right. I'm like kind of center. Sometimes I'm a little bit too positive. I'm probably never a bit too negative, but you get the point. So, like, people are trying to normalize this. And this is what I have a problem with. It's like we're 15th. We could be 16th soon. So, like, people are kind of, to me, I was like, Leicester, we in my head, I was like, we must win this game. I was like, I might be Ange out if we don't win this game. Because to me, even though the players are tired and this and that, we drew with Wolves, we lost to Everton, we lost to Ipswich. Like, do you know what I mean? There comes a point where it's like, okay, who are we going to beat? Because if we're not beating the teams above us and we're not beating the teams below us, like, this is actually a really big issue. So coming into the game and then observing it, it's like, I don't know. Like, you can't use the conceding 2 goals in 5 minutes, yeah? How can you use tiredness? You've just had a 15-minute rest. Like, you've just had a 15-minute rest. That moment is not the moment that you can use tiredness as a reason as to why you conceded those goals. Like, you just can't. It's not like it's not a logical excuse to me. So when people are like, oh, well, the players are tired, I'm like, this is where it goes to mentality. You have done the hard work. But then it also goes to like tactics and setup. Like, I don't think, if you're going to dig in and be solid and be like gritty and stuff like that, that in the Premier League era now, it needs tactics and planning and strategy. And I don't think these players, to me, have, and I don't want to be too critical on Ange or something, because it's not the number one way we go to play football. But in terms of this, the players out of possession, being. So I'm watching the players, and it's kind of a little bit what hospital, but slight variation of like, do we know how to be compact? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, in moments like this, can you be compact? Can you, like, if you're gonna go and try and knock them out in the first 5 minutes, we didn't do anything. Like, it wasn't like we were like knocking on the door and we got hit on the counter trying to knock them out. It was brain deadness from the players. And then you then go to the player quality issue. And then it's like, okay, is it the quality of the players? But then I'm also thinking to myself, who made the decision that these senior players who were already inconsistent last season should be considered, consistent enough to carry the team in multiple competitions? That was a poor decision. That was a very, very poor decision. Because the inconsistency we showed in the last 10, 12 games last season, going to Newcastle, losing 4-0, it should have rung alarm bells. Yeah? Like Dragusin. Like, I don't want to pick on Dragusin specifically because Sar's been atrocious for the last 2 months. Yeah? But Dragusin, I think, and I've not looked at the data, I need to see what the data is in terms of the games Dragusin's played and we've lost. Because I honestly think, when I was looking at the data before Davies got injured, and we fell off a cliff, when Davies was in the team, we were okay. Like, we were all right. Like, we hadn't completely fallen off. And I know the fixtures got more difficult. But this style of play, not being able to play out from the back, player issue, Dragusin. But then tactically, when we make a mistake with poor quality players, our fullbacks are so far up. Our players, it's like our mistakes are always like seized upon because we don't win. Our positioning, our compactness, how close the players are to each other. It's not there. So it's like, can I blame player quality issue for making technical mistakes, or am I blaming setup because these players have proven numerous occasions they're not consistent enough in these positions and moments, and they need support, whether that's from the manager telling them to, set here and this or that, or from a tactical point of view. So, I mean, this game is a mess to break down because it's like a lot of the stuff about tiredness.
Variables, isn't it?
Goals. Yeah, I'm not like people's like, I'm not blaming Dragusin. I'm saying when I'm saying to who's to blame, I'm saying player quality making mistakes or positioning or tactically or energy, or there's so many factors there. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. No, I do see that. And I feel like that game was sort of the epitome of it. Like it did sum up the fact that all the problems at Spurs are happening at once and we have so many issues and you just can't pinpoint one of them. And I think well, you can look at the manager. Some people are going to focus on that, and rightly so, can blame the manager for it. Some people are going to focus on the fact that Levy hasn't supplied this team and supplied the squad with enough backup to perform. And some people are just solely going to focus on the fact that the senior players, yet again, have let us down. They haven't turned up in the big moments. Go on, Jay. Did you want to say something?
just wanted to read you lot a stat. We're first in the league in terms of turnovers in possession. In terms of losing possession. That is that is the amount of times we get turned over. Just to add to what Jay was saying, the quality, it goes down to the quality of the players.
But the thing is, on top of that, it's like, this is my issue with, when Romero and Van der Ven come back, we're obviously going to be a much better team. Like, Romero's like a cheat code. I hope people start to understand like how much of Romero is a cheat code in terms of being able to build up from the back.
Build out from the back, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
he's
just pardon?
Based on what?
Based on the fact that he alone can build from the back on his own. And we've seen
this season.
But
he's been poor defensively, but when it comes to
passing, has still been good. Like his defending has been inconsistent. His on the ball has been as consistent as ever.
Well, I can argue that when he comes out from the back and there's things that he does when he goes missing, right? When he's always charging out from the back, trying to play. That's costing us.
But don't you think, Alex, when he charges out from the back, he's usually not doing it in possession with the ball. He's usually doing it out of possession and trying to press a player and be over-aggressive in the press, rather than when he actually has the ball at his feet. There's been a few times when he's played those over the balls that we've been seeing from Porro recently into Maddison. They're the passes that Romero was making early on. Very, very similar to when you look back at Poch, Alderweireld and Vertonghen were making those types of passes for Dele Alli's runs. We're seeing that from Romero now, and I feel like he has the ability, but like Jay has pointed out, and like you've pointed out, inconsistently defending and, being those lapses in concentration at the back have killed him and killed us.
The difference is with those two players. The player that you just mentioned, Alderweireld, good defender.
Yeah, no, 100%. Alderweireld's first 2 seasons with us, insane level of consistency, just quality.
Nowhere near. Romero's nowhere near.
Yeah, he's not. He's not. Romero's never done that. What Toby did. I think I prefer Toby to Jan, because I think when Toby got here, Jan got a lot better. So like I always use that against Jan, unfortunately. But looking at it from Romero, and it's a great point about his inconsistency, because then it goes again to our talisman. Yeah, our big players this season, all of them have been inconsistent. Yeah, it's why we are where we are, because the players we needed to step up have not stepped up. Yeah, like Kulusevski, to me, yeah, when he's good, he's good. But if he's the best player in your team, we got problems. We got problems, because he shouldn't like.
Don't worry, I don't rate him. I don't rate him. I
rate him highly, but I mean, I don't think he's as consistent as fans would like.
I hear what they're saying. I think Kulusevski should be the minimum of level of player that we should have in our team.
Exactly.
If we're going to attacking football. You see what I'm trying to say? Yeah, so if you've got Kulusevski,
it's like if City let Bernardo Silva run their attack instead of KDB. It's like you're gonna get. Go.
No, I was gonna say, like, for me, if you've got Johnson, that it dips. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, Johnson in possession is not the same as a Kulusevski in possession in terms of someone that's going to hold on to the ball, someone that's going to carry the ball from deep as well. And literally, if there's 2 or 3 players on him, it doesn't matter. And the physicality of him as well, his actual physicality, able to hold off defenders and then play a simple pass or in tight areas. Like, Johnson lets us down in that area and he hasn't even been playing. Imagine that. And so that's put extra pressure on a player like Kulu, who's been overrun, and we haven't been able to rotate him on the right wing. When he's playing on the right wing, he's playing in midfield. He's not playing midfield, he's playing right wing. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like other than Kulu,
it's fine. Like, Palmer's the same. You know what I mean? Like, right, Foden, like these good players, they play a couple of positions. It's not a.
I think Foden's had better seasons than bloody Kulusevski has. and Callum and Palmer as well. I think Palmer and have got something more than
they both have, but I think it's fair to say when you're looking at it this season, neither of those players have ever in their career had to be relied upon to play every single game, play 90 minutes and perform each and every one of those 90 minutes. Foden disappeared for half of this season, and I think he's a great player with amazing talents, and I wasn't one to get onto him. I mean, I was on that Spurs King show and people were trying to get onto Foden. I was the only one defending him. But I think it goes to show that Kulusevski has a lot more pressure on him than these two players do at this moment in time anyway, because
I don't
if
agree
he's
with
not
that.
performing, no, because Cole Palmer, when you look at Cole Palmer, he's not even in the Conference League for them. He's not in the squad.
I think the players should be Maddison, because I think we tick more with Maddison rather than Kulusevski. I'm being honest with you, because I think Maddison's the one that puts the ball. It's the one that puts the ball in a lot of the time. Kulusevski, he runs about a lot. He has certain things that are cool. Yeah, good. He does certain things that are good. Cool. But it's Maddison's the one that does the main things that gets us going every single time. For me,
both players have gone missing on the attack.
I agree. This is the thing. But this is a conundrum we're having at the moment, isn't it? Listen. This is why I love Jay, because Jay gives me so many things to argue with. You know what I mean? Big up Jay, by the way. You know what I mean?
you got to specify nowadays. You got to specify.
Oh yeah, Jay. Yeah, you know Jay. you know Jay. The Hotspur Cave. Then you know Jay.
Hotspur Cave. I'm like, go on, Jay. That Jay. I want that.
Yeah. I was like, when you saying go on, Jay, I was like, what?
Jay, you're Jay. You Jay. Yeah. The one that's speaking now. Sorry.
It's man, never can hear me.
Yeah.
No, I just want to say, the reason I kind of agree with what you're saying. First of all, Kulusevski, as well as he's performed, he shouldn't be the level of player that we're relying on to drag us on to win big things, isn't it? With Maddison, yes, he makes things tick, but the problem is the players that we have in front of Maddison are not good enough. So you have to look at what Maddison provided. Look at who he has to give the service to. I've seen Maddison slip Son in numerous times.
Lost you.
Oh, we lost you, Jay. Your mic went out for a second.
He's gone.
Go on, say it again.
My back.
It's cutting in and out. You might want to do the plug it in, plug it out type of thing.
I must be back. I'm back now.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, if you look at the players that we got in front of Maddison, it's not good enough. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got nothing to work with, bro. I told you already, George. It's like giving a handyman tools. It's like giving a handyman a job and no tools to work with. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's not good enough. So, yeah, we can sit there and say it makes things tick. But that's what I'm saying. For me, I'm looking at the forward line are the players that I'm looking at. Because these are the players that are meant to drag us through games, bro.
Son's my guy.
To drag us through games. When we're 2-1 down at home, I'm looking to Son. Where's the Son that cuts in off the left, off the right, and whips it top bins?
Yeah. Do you know what though? Just on that, G, I feel like, look, I've been someone, I call out the senior players every game and every opportunity I get, because I feel like, especially in moments like this, your senior players carry you through. And there was a funny, when I was speaking to one of my friends, Ash, another Ash, some of you guys will know him from Twitter, he was saying it. He said it a long time ago, but he was saying it yesterday when I was speaking to him. He was like, you know, Spurs without Son and Kane, like, was really up for relegation. And it really is that thing, because the biggest difference between this Tottenham team and the Tottenham team of 2 years ago is just the fact that we don't have Kane. You don't have Son turning up every game. The amount of games that we got through when those two just put on the Jets and they would get a goal, they'd get a last-minute goal, they'd get us through the games. And that was the difference between us being a top team and a bottom team. Right now, we ain't even got Son, the old Son of before, and we ain't got a Kane that scores goals. So you don't have two senior players leading you through these moments. This is what's killing us. And then Levy's turning to young boys, and it's even looking a bit more like crazy when the fact that we're looking at Tyler Diblin to come in. But he's 17 years old. Is this the needle mover that's going to change our?
He's 19. Come on. He's 19, isn't he? He's 19 at least, surely.
17, 19. I think he's 17. I'm pretty sure.
8 players.
He's 18. He's 18.
18.
We've got
19?
8 players over the age of 18 available. We can't be looking at any more teenagers.
We're going.
We can't
I'm
be looking
sorry.
at
The problem I have at the moment, the problem. Oh, go on, my guy Ash. Go on, my guy Ash. You go.
No, go on. What's the problem?
It's just I don't like this at all. To be honest with you, this Tyler Diblin, I don't like it at all, because for me, he's coming into a team that he's got no inspiration. I'm sorry, he's got absolutely no inspiration. I mean, it's not even like he's got Perisic there. And then again, like I said, I know he wanted to leave, but I'd rather have Perisic in my team all day long than that stupid Timo Werner. You know what I mean? Below average Shane Long, German Shane Long. I can't stand him. You know what I mean? Just when is he going to get sold? Honestly, you know, get rid of him, because honestly, he's not going to get inspired by that, isn't it? He ain't going to be inspired by Son. And by the way, I'm keeping it PG. I'm keeping it PG. But we're getting Yang in, right? And what we're doing now? We're putting on bloody loan. We're putting them on bloody loan. So what's the point in that?
Don't you think he needs to go on loan though?
Well, I don't know. Well, is it official yet? Though, is it? Hold on. But do you want to blow up now, or do you want to blow up when he goes out on loan? Because you don't get to blow up twice. So do you want to? And the thing is you're not going to apologize if he doesn't go out on loan. So I'm like, maybe you should save it until he goes out on loan, then you blow up. Oh, you know what? You can blow up now because. But
Jay, we're 15. We're 15. We're 15, bro. Sorry, Ash. Sorry, Ash, there you go, bro. Sorry, Ash. Yeah.
This stream is air out your pain, bro. Air it out. We're here to get it out, bro. You want to say your piece?
This is what Jay does to me, bro. This is why I love Jay. not the Hotspur Cave. I love you, Jay. Hotspur Cave. But this Jay here, there's a story with me and him. We've got a story. You know what I mean? I love him. He gets the best out of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's trying to explain to people. Yeah. Once we get past the initial teething phase, I'm friends with everybody. That's what I'm saying. Once you get past that point, it's all love. It's all love.
No, what I'm saying is,
let me ask you this though, Mr. Box.
Go on.
We're looking at this like you don't want Diblin now. I'm looking at this like, right, I'm trying to rationalize what the hell they're doing in the scouting department at Levy. I'm trying to say, okay, there's a lot of intelligent men in theory in this room. I'm using the word in theory is doing a lot of heavy lifting at the moment. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of intelligent men in theory. And I'm saying to myself, right, okay, IQ. Football IQ is expensive. That's one thing I was noticing when I was looking at when I look at transfers and this and that. I'm looking, the players that are really expensive, their football IQ is really good in the main. So I'm like, okay, football IQ is expensive, right? You can get it. And if you buy like a Kefram Taram or you buy Manu Kone and this, you'll buy good technical players. But that IQ, that Alexis McAllister stuff, you know, that Bernardo Silva stuff, you know, that's hard to find and it's expensive. Yeah. So I'm like, right, if you can't afford or are unwilling to buy it, you are trying to basically buy it on the cheap by buying it young. Do you see what I mean? So you're buying excellent IQ in the players that we're buying, but we're having to buy them young, like as in like they need a lot of work to get to the level where they're going to move the needle for like a top 6 Premier League team. But they have it. Do you know what I mean?
Basically,
they have like
you're saying that we're a builder club. You know what I'm saying? We're not.
No, I'm saying. Yeah, I'm saying we like if you want to be like a Brighton and Brentford and all that, like as in like this is what it is like, and all these clubs, the formative stage of doing this data stuff, and it's not an excuse that we went too young, but you know when you look at it properly, you say to yourself, right, Odebear, Gray, Bergvall, you see the scouts are saying they've got it, they've got what it's gonna cost us 60, 70, 80 million to buy these players, but it's gonna take 2 years for them to get to that point. And I don't know who signed off on the squad we've got. Go on.
I'm saying it's a gamble because there's no assurances that these players
no,
will
but that's
reach to the heights.
I think to me, that's the point I'm talking about. IQ. Yeah, the boys you've seen play, they have it. They've got football IQ. Bergval's got football IQ. Gray's got football IQ. Yeah, Solanke's got football IQ. These guys have football IQ. Solanke got £65 million for like upper half football IQ, proven Premiership, 27 years old, 65 million. That's how much IQ costs. So I'm saying, right, these young players, like they're picking them and they're backing these guys to be all stars. Do you know what I mean? Like NBA draft. They're saying these guys are gonna be franchise players. I'm not necessarily agreeing with it, but I'm saying that's what they're doing here.
Yeah, no, I get it. You're essentially trying to buy like your Semenyos, but before they become a Semenyo, the Eze before.
No, not Semenyo. You're trying to buy. Not Semenyo. Like these guys that.
No, I think what Jay's pointing out is we want to get the best of the best. Like
that's what I'm saying. You're trying
like remember when we were trying to drag Jack Grealish at 16? It's like those type of signings. Tottenham were known for identifying top players young, but never pulling the trigger. Never actually going there and getting the deal done. And when we did try to get the deal done, it was always too late. It was always once another club had come in, or it was always like we weren't trying to offer enough money and all these other things. And, try and find the Dele Allis again. But that's the problem. We aren't Brentford or Brighton. We're bigger than Brentford or Brighton.
No.
When it comes to money, we're top 10 in not just England, in the world. We have one of the most commercial revenues in world football. We have the highest ticket prices in Europe. So I don't feel like it's an excuse to the fact that, we want to try and go the Brighton and Brentford way, because that's all cool. That's all nice, trying to go the Brighton and Brentford way. But we need to spend money. We can do the Brighton, we can do the data-driven model, but back the club by spending money with it, by the top players that are coming out of the data.
But if you look at like just quick before Ash goes, you look at like Solanke, like okay, good. So when you bought an established Premier League player and the data backed it, look at the positive impact it made on the team. So we need a few of these. But then you're also saying like the other ones, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're not trying to buy a Semenyo. Do you see what I mean? It's almost like they're trying to buy, because if these guys that they're buying peaked at a Semenyo level talent, I'd be pissed. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, is this what you threw our season away for? I'm looking at I'm not saying I want Pedri, but I'm expecting top tier midfielders for you potentially throwing this season away.
All right.
Are you mad? And that's I trust.
Hold on. Pause right there. You're saying right now that Diblin will be better than Semenyo, is what he's performing right now. Is that
100%. Yeah, 100%. Well, because what Diblin's doing at 19, Semenyo wasn't even in the same stratosphere. Like, as in, like, this kid's going right to the top. Like, when I'm watching him, he's having more of an impact on Premier League defenders than even people like Grealish at the same age and stuff like that. The kid's got it. Now, obviously, he needs to add a lot of skills to what he's doing and, build out and stuff like that.
Does everyone agree with that? Everyone agree with that? Isn't everyone like...
I would say cool? That I think Tyler Diblin's a top talent, but it's too early to say that he's going to perform better than like a Semenyo. So I feel like Semenyo has what Diblin won't ever have. And that's PMP, bro. Let's be real. Diblin's never going to have that PMP that Semenyo has. You can't buy that. You can't make that. It's just in the genes. It's in the genes.
But Semenyo is also 6 years older than Diblin. Yeah. So I'm saying within 12 to 18 months, Diblin will be performing at a better level than that, in my opinion.
He's not doing that at Tottenham with Ange Postecoglou. He's not doing that. He's not doing that with Ange Postecoglou. Sorry, I refuse. Right, I'm sorry. Diblin coming to Tottenham is a big mistake if Ange Postecoglou's in charge. Because look at the place he's ruined right now. Sorry, that's just me. If you think this boy, I think any winger, I'll be worried about them coming to Tottenham with this guy. Sorry.
Can I just stop? Because I know Ash. Go on. Sorry, Ash. I know you was gonna go. I want you to get your bit off before you leave.
Go on. Now I was gonna say, I think the point is, regardless if Ange is here or not, I think it's a club signing, meaning that these men are buying players who they identify in going for what direction they're trying to go in. So, like George was saying, that the young Dele Allis, that those type of molds where they're popping before they pop. You know what I'm saying? We're getting them young. The English as well, because there was a homegrown issue and then also a club trained issue, which we're now experiencing as we go into Europa. Hence why Forster got named in the squad, and then everyone's like, "Wow, free the man them. How come Jed ain't in the squad? You get me? Like, how come man's leaving the man them out?" And then all of a sudden we've got this problem. So I think moving forward now, the club are trying to future succession plan. But my problem is, and I think all of our problem is, you need to supplement the young Donnies with seniority, like players, because the senior guys at the moment, they're letting our team down. We can't rely on Maddison at the moment because he's been letting us down. Or you can say it the other way around, as you guys were saying, the players in front of Maddison are letting them down because Son's not firing. Do you know what I'm saying? Solanke's sometime-ish. And then you've got Brennan Johnson, if you can say that's a senior player. We just need more senior figures that supplement the young players that we're going for as well. So it's more of a balance. Because we already saw what happened when they just went after the youth and they said, actually, nah, we're happy with Archie Gray and we're happy with Bergvall. We don't need to replace Lo Celso. We don't need to replace Skip, and we don't need to replace Højbjerg. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So there's no free senior players out the squad, not replaced in that team, and essentially now they're like, oh my goodness, we didn't mean to give this much minutes to Bergvall. Oh, we didn't mean to give this much minutes to Archie Gray.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what you said in the summer, bro.
See, no, like, I don't think they did not mean to. I think they meant to. Like
that's what I'm saying. They definitely did say, because they come out in the summer and said we want to sign players.
I don't think they did it because they were particularly.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think they were doing it because, like, I don't even buy as much into the conspiracy. Not conspiracy, but it's facts. But like people saying, the club don't care. I don't even buy into that. I'm like, you just backed your scouting, so like you really were feeling yourself on the scouting of Bergvall and Gray. Do you know what I mean? It's like you guys, and then the managers don't even play them. So it's a bit like, and you're also feeling yourself on Sarr. You're saying, hey, you were all feeling yourself on Sarr, ready to be a fully fledged first team member. What's happened? Regressed. So now a guy who's meant to make the step up didn't make the step up. So he regressed. Bentancur regressed. Yeah? Like, so I'm now saying, I'm just looking at this.
Big up to Ash. Big up to Ash. Look, guys, we're going to be going over to Ash after this show. So just stay in here. We'll go over to Ash after, but continue, Jay.
Yeah, no, so I'm just looking at it and I'm just like, wow. Like, it's just very, very... It's one of these situations now where it's very difficult to pinpoint what we're trying to do here perfectly. But these players, my logic is like, you look at Bergvall and Gray. We beat Barca to Bergvall. We got Gray from Brentford. Brentford are obviously promising Gray a lot of minutes. Yeah. So for us to get Gray, we must have promised him X amount of minutes. That probably factored into the decision to leave Jed Spence out of the Europa squad, saying that Gray would play right back or left back. It's also factored into why Gray probably was ahead of Spence until they got to a point where they both needed to play.
Apparently, they promised him time. They promised him minutes.
Of course. And the kid's on 80 grand a week or something. So
what?
He's
on 80 grand a week.
Yeah.
No, but then this is where I have a problem, though, Jay. And this is where I was sitting. I'm just like, all right. So we pay the least amount of wages in the whole Premier League compared to revenue and so on, percentage-wise. But we offer unproven 18-year-olds from the Championship.
Yeah, let me just
80 grand a week. Nah, it can't be. Nah, the only reason I think that is because I'm pretty sure we got rid of the likes of Dyer and all these other players.
Yeah, sorry. Archie Gray has an annual salary of 3.9 million basic, 75 grand a week. Sorry.
Okay, so why is he not playing then every single week? Why was he not playing?
I know where Alex is going with this now.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny. No, if we're going to start doing this, over there, you're young, right? So why is he not? why is he not playing his position then? He wasn't brought in to be a bloody centre midfielder, bro. He wasn't brought in to be a centre midfielder. He's been brought in to be right
and you know what, yeah? And the more, like, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean that people aren't out to get you, Mr. Box Office. And I, for once, agree with what you're saying, because
I'm not paranoid, bruv. I'm talking the truth.
Well, you are paranoid. Well, you are. Well, I mean, like, I've got
talking the truth, bro.
I've got tinfoil in the kitchen if you need it.
Like, if you watch Mr. Box Office TV, I was telling people, like, saying,
yeah, but that's the reason.
ITKs like, enough.
No, but it's like the boy who cried wolf. Eventually, when the wolves actually come, no one believes you. That's the problem.
The ITKs were talking. They were talking, saying, "Oh, we love Archie Gray and Bertha. Look so good in training. We don't need any midfielders now." And look what's happened.
Yeah, but the point
the
is,
chickens come time to roost, bruv. You know what I mean? And they're playing really well. They're playing really well at the moment. We're 15th. We're 15th.
15th.
So they're playing well. They're working really hard at the moment. They're working really hard.
They are working. They are working. They are working.
So it's not really a great ceiling at the moment, isn't it? They've got great ceiling. They've got great ceiling.
Working hard.
They're 15th. They're 15th.
No, Alex, you're spitting. You're spitting absolute facts. And do you know what? Look, I think similar to I've been very similar to Jay. I was like, rah, this Leicester loss, I think it's going to break me. I think it's going to kill me. I think I'm going to have to get rid of Ange after this one and not defend him and just start calling out for his name. But when there's so many things going wrong, like you say, the players, like the fact that we've been sold on the fact that Archie Gray and Bergvall were supposed to play this much. First, we was told they're supposed to. Then we're not supposed to. And then Ange has been like, oh, we didn't really want to use them, but we didn't sign enough players not to use them. So we're just constantly contradicting ourselves as a club. You know, like when they come out straight after Leicester, when many of us expected a statement, we expected that club statement to be, to be put out on Twitter and so on. Then they say, oh, no, the club's backing Ange, but they're only going to try and bring in one more player. It's contradictory statement. You can't say at the start of the window that we're looking to sign 4 players. Then at the end of the window,
one player. So did you?
It said at least. It did, but
at least one.
Alex,
I get what you're saying. I get where you're coming from.
What that means is it went from 4 players to now 1 player to at least. When they walk away with 2, and they do this every single window. By the way, they come out early in the window. They sell us the dream that we're looking for this position, we're looking for that position, we're looking to sign these big players. But then we come to the end of the window. And yet again, we're here. No help, no players. I mean, look, I'm going to bring it to you, Blacks. How does we turn it around for the next couple of games? Where is there a turnaround for Spurs? Does it get any better? Or we've just got to accept where we're at and pause, but like Ash said earlier, just bend over for every team.
I'm going to be real, and people might not like what I'm about to say, but I'm going to just be so honest. Unless we bring in 3, I'm being dead serious, not 1, not 2. Unless we bring in 3 players, there's no turning this around. We're not getting our players back. What don't people understand? George, I said this to you before the show. We're not getting our players back because we get 1 back and 2 go out. Every week, another player falls. Every week. It's World War II in the Tottenham training ground at the moment because everyone's getting hit. Everyone. You can't turn this around. Look at our fixtures. Look at who we've got. Look at who we've got next. Look at who we've got coming up. We've got Brentford away. Are we going to... Now, I know we have gone to the G-Tech and got wins before. Yeah, but I'm looking at the momentum that they have. And then I'm looking at us. They're going to be up for that game. They're going to have their tails up for that game. Do you know what I mean? Their wingers are going to be looking at our fullbacks thinking their whole back line is drained. They're going to be up for it. I know we've got Liverpool in the cup, and I know everyone's quite optimistic about the Liverpool game, and everyone's talking about the cup. I just want to say, everyone that said 15th in the cup, you got exactly what you wanted because we're 15th now, Black. This is what you guys called for, you know? And look, I'm not confident at all. I don't go into any game confident. I predicted we were going to lose the Leicester game because I said, you know what, Dr. Tottenham, they've lost 7 on the bounce. As soon as I heard they lost 7 in a row, I said, yeah, nah,
And do you know the maddest thing about this, yeah? Because look, big up to Richard, Everton fan, clearly, innit? We've actually got Everton. I've never seen an Everton fan in the chat, yeah? But clearly, we gave them some wins and they're talking different to us. But this is the thing that I'm worrying about most, because I've tried to push off the fact that we're in a relegation battle, yeah? But if you actually look at the teams around us and the games they've got coming up, a lot of them have to play each other. You've got Everton that are playing Leicester this weekend, and like he's pointed out, if Everton win, they go above us. You've got away from that, I'm pretty sure Wolves are playing one of the bottom teams real soon. As well as some of these other teams, they're playing each other. So we've got to look at the fixture list, and typical relegation start. We've got to look at Leicester's games. We've got to look at Everton's games to make sure that they're not going to go above us, because
they're going above us this weekend. What do you mean? They've got Leicester at home.
Do you think they beat Leicester? Leicester.
They'll beat Leicester. I mean,
Leicester
they'll show us what you need to do to beat Leicester at home. 1-0, scrappy win. Put the points in the bag, please.
Yeah, they're gonna slap Leicester. They're gonna slap Leicester, man. Leicester are gonna revert back to type. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't be so confident of that. They don't really score goals, but
to be fair, Leicester were quite good. Whilst we were terrible, Leicester were quite surprisingly good.
Come on, look, they finished with a pivot in their midfield of Skip and Winks. We threw.
We created nothing,
bro. So look, where does it get better then? Do any of you think?
Bro, listen, what do you mean? What, like, people are talking like we could just, we've got players missing. It's okay.
Because players are coming back.
What are we talking about? Like, eventually, if we just keep losing every week, the teams will eventually catch up to us. Like, it might be like
just a caveat.
And if it happens in game week 34, that's even worse because there's less time to react. Because the thing is that you don't want a guy who the thing is that these players, like, they're not ready for a relegation. They don't want to fight a relegation. Like, these players, if they're in that position, week 35, week 36, they can get us relegated. I'm not joking. Like, we definitely could get relegated because the thing is that you can outfight us. And in a relegation scrap, that's the one thing you need, the ability to scrap. Yeah. And if you can outfight us, like, oh man, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, I don't think we're gonna get relegated, but that next win, I think we got United at home in a few weeks. If we don't beat United at home, yeah, like, I don't know where that next win's coming from. There'll always be a match. Like, there'll always be a match, Europa League. And if all season we're going to be like, the Europa League is important, every time we turn up for the weekend fixture and we get turned over, people will be like, it's because they're tired from Europa League. Do you see what I mean? It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I don't know where we get off.
We've got a horrible run of fixtures coming.
I know we did.
The end of February, we've got like a back-to-back 4 games. Like, we've got Bournemouth, Fulham, Chelsea.
My God, bro. Away. Brentford away, Liverpool away, Villa away.
So let's talk about that in particular. Chelsea, because look, I think one thing we can all accept is there's no hope in the league. Well, there's nothing for us to play for in the league.
Done.
We're 15th, league is done. There's no position that any of us are going to be remotely happy with at all. Yeah. So looking at the
it'll be difficult to get top half of the table at this point.
We're like 12 points away from top half. Someone said to me earlier,
where do we pick up 6 points from, though? That's my question. Where do we pick up 6 points?
I think that's a very good question.
This is how Luton were talking last season. Like, where do we how has it come to this? Where do we pick 6 points? I don't know.
The funny, Jay, what I look at, right, is the teams around us. They bring in players, and their players have in the back of their mind that back end of the season, last 10, 15 games, we might have to fight to stay in the league. Yeah. I'm looking at our team. None of these players have ever experienced.
Bro, I saw Sar smiling. I saw Sar smiling. I said, brother, you're in a relegation dogfight. There's no time for smiles and cheeky charm. Do you know what I mean? Get your head down and run, lads. So
But it's just that we're not even grinding out results. That's what's annoying me at the moment. And the thing is, Jay, right? He's right. Don't get used to this, Jay, by the way. Don't get used to this, by the way, Jay. Right? But the thing is, though, yeah, you are right. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. You know what I mean? We haven't got the fight for it. I see Everton grinding out results. I'm seeing Calvert-Lewin turn up when he hasn't turned up for the last half of the season, hasn't he? You know what I mean? You know, it's just like, you know, I see O'Brien have the best game of his life. You know what I mean? You know, Pickford doing turns and everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, against us. You know? And then
No,
Leicester
I'm
City,
with
what
you,
they're
bro.
doing at the moment, I don't know what to say. I was saying this before Arsenal, even Arsenal are saying, well, we need to start winning games right now because this is getting squeaky bum time here.
Have we lost every game since that?
Yeah, we've been losing games since bloody what is it?
We've lost 4 in a row, and I think we've lost
since Southampton.
We've lost 9 of our last 10.
December the 14th.
We've lost 9 of our last 10.
9 of our last 10 or 9 of our last 11 or something. It's very. Do you know what? Do you guys think that we have any hope in this game against Liverpool? Because all we need is a draw,
bro. I'm starting to think they're going to absolutely pack us, and I mean like, yo, 3-0 down after 20 minutes kind of energy. Like, I'm not like, because the thing is these players, yeah. Well, no, I'm not ready to fall on my sword yet. We've turned up in the League Cup. Bar Coventry, yeah. Just make sure Spence is on the pitch, because I don't know what's happening. Like, if Spence had played against Leicester, we wouldn't have lost that game.
I worry.
I agree. I do agree.
I do worry. The cups are really, really covering our league performance.
They are. They're papering over the cracks.
And the worry for me is that I think that the League Cup, we're going to start focusing on that more and see. Oh well, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay, aren't we? Because the 3 teams are terrible, right? And I sit there and think, no, I don't think you should have that mentality at all. Because if we're going to focus on the cup, right, too much, I think we're going to get sucked in even more. You see what I'm saying? I don't think they actually realise. You see what I'm saying? You know,
I mean,
and that's what worries me at the moment.
Do you want to know the moment that I really started having huge concerns about the project? It was when we lost to Newcastle 2-1. Yeah, and the reason why wasn't the same as everyone else. It was like an itch I couldn't scratch after that, because I thought we played really well in that game. And when I look at other teams that went to Newcastle and played Newcastle, who maybe got results and this and that,
start of the season.
Yeah, and then when we lost this season, when we lost 2-1. Not the 4-0. The 2-1 concerned me more than the 4-0.
The away game you're talking about.
Yeah. So when we lost 2-1 this season, because the issue was I was like, we can play this well for this amount of time in a game, and the other team just has to play well for 10-15 minutes and they'll beat us. I was like, okay. And it's something I didn't really action on, but I just that's what Leicester get as well. Played well for 50-60 minutes of that game. Leicester played well for 15 minutes and we could have lost it.
Did you see us last season though, Bob? Did you see us last season against like Brentford, Bournemouth? This was the same sort of thing that we saw then.
Do you know what though?
We won the games.
Like Sheffield United. Like it's when you're doing badly,
momentum.
You can look back at stuff and be like, hey, that Sheffield United last minute winner, was it like a gutsy last minute win, or was it, yo, you took 97 minutes to beat a team that was handily relegated at home?
What about Liverpool? When we were like, they were down to 9 men?
Yeah, that one was lucky. We got lucky. It was own goal.
On my channel, Mr. Box Office TV, that was a terrible win.
Yeah.
That was
It was a win that painted us in. We won in the worst possible way. We basically proved that we couldn't break down 9-man Liverpool, and then luckily got an own goal in the last minute to save our blushes. And the reason what that also saved Ange, because what actually it says was like against the Chelsea game when we played such a kamikaze high line, it would have been like, hey, Ange, you could have played like a deep block and try to defend, and maybe you could have got something. Do you see what I mean? Because I would have killed him. Just like Spence. Like, the thing with me, and Deji uses the word about Ange being a gambler, it's like we've teetered on the edge this season so many times. Yeah, I remember when Ange was saying, I always win a trophy in my second season. And we were 1-0 down to Coventry in the 89th minute. Do you know what would have happened if we lost to Coventry the day after Ange said, I always win a trophy in my second season? Bro, it would have been apocalypse. It would have been apocalypse.
But don't you think, like this comment has said, and this is what my issue has been with the tactics, is similar to, again, the Hoffenheim game, is a lot of these teams that we should just be battering, they're not of top quality. We give them way too many chances. Galatasaray, way too many chances. Our game is so open at times. And obviously, this is one where we can only look at the manager. That smaller teams, even Leicester, like, they create very good opportunities against us. And it's not like they're just shooting from the edge of the box.
Oh, God.
A lot of them are creating really good openings.
Clear one-on. Everyone's getting a clear one-on-one versus us in a game.
And that's where my biggest issue is. Like, we just can't control defensively. The defensive structure is missing. And just last question before everyone heads out, because I know quite a few people have got to go. We had it here from Jay. If we get knocked out of the cups, big up Jay Simpson every single time, but if we get knocked out of the cups, should he be sacked or should we leave him until the end of the season? Would anyone else be able to fix this?
I would sack him, but by the statement, I think they're sticking with him till the end of the season.
And just the last one, do you think anyone can fix this?
I think there are coaches out there that can fix it. As long as Mason doesn't come in. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I just can't do that. Sorry, you're having a laugh. You know what I mean? I think there are coaches out there. I think there's Areola. I think you can get players. I think you can get coaches in Europe that are coaches that can improve players. Because where did Areola come from? He came from Spain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where did Thomas Frank come from? You know what I mean?
I think he was like Denmark or something.
Denmark, I'm pretty sure.
You know, there are coaches out there that can coach and make players better and then can adapt. Because Areola, where did Poch come from? Southampton. Southampton.
Before that, he was in Spain again. I think Spain is really the home of top managers. That's it. You have to go to Spain and you find yourself a top manager.
Top coaches. Jay, that's what we need.
What do you think? Just to answer the question. Oh, either one or whoever wants to go first.
Oh, I can't hear him. So he was probably talking and we couldn't hear him. He probably started to talk.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost you again.
Is he lost it?
Every time I start talking, it does that. I'm tired. It's tired.
Yeah.
But no, look, the reality is they're not gonna sack him because Levy's trying to save face. Like, let's be real. He sacked Conte, sacked Jose, sacked Nuno, sacked Poch. He has to save face now. He told us at the start of this project that we've got our Tottenham back. Now you can see how embarrassing it would look for him if he has to sack another manager again after 18, 19, 20 months in charge. So look, there's like the other lad said, there's plenty of managers out there that are good enough to work with what we have and start grinding out results. My first choice manager, who I've been banging on about, Marco Silva. If you're watching this, Marco, come to Tottenham. Come to Tottenham, bro, please. You know what I'm saying? Come to Tottenham. I'll wash your car, bro. Just pull up.
I'll do the wheels. No. I'm still Angie. I got a bit excited then. Jay was speaking so passionately. I just jumped on the band like, oh, let me chill.
But the people that are Angie, I do understand. Like, I understand. You know, it is Levy. I get that. And I understand you don't want to do the whole cycle thing. But for me, I'm just looking at the body of work that's in front of me and I'm just not impressed by it at all, innit? Like, I'm looking at what I'm seeing and what I'm seeing is not impressing me. And unfortunately, I just think maybe at another club in the league, Ange might be successful. He might learn, find his feet. But I don't think he's what we need right now.
Yeah, I
Fair
think
enough.
for me, I think like it's actually a good basis. I think the club's, I mean, the club is flirting with fucking relegation. Let me not cap with the run we're on at the moment. Like the problem is twofold. One is like I don't want to defend Levy, but I want to say that like to an extent, sometimes you are listening to the scouts and the director of footballs and strategy and stuff like that. You know, it's difficult for us to have it both ways, that this guy knows nothing about football and puts people in positions to make decisions, and then they make bad decisions or they go too far one way and it's still all him. Do you know what I mean? It's the blame has to be equally shared across, you know, the sporting directors and what we're doing. But if you look, we do score goals. You know, we score. So it's, to me, it's almost like if you had somebody that was quite similar to Ange, but had more defensive stability, more structure, made the players run less, blah, blah, blah. The basis is there for talented players to be able to improve. I've always said with Ange, the problem we've got with Ange is like, it's not like he's making the players that we've got better. It's, he says, I've got this system that I think can win. Yeah. And the players have to fit into this system. And the better they fit in and the better quality they are, the better we'll do. But to me, it's not definitive that backing him all that way is going to cause that system to work. There's no compelling evidence yet that even if we did back him the whole way, it would be success. And I think that's why the cups are so big. I think if we go out of the cups, depends when. Do you know what I mean? As in the Europa League, yeah? I mean, the thing is that it would be very difficult for the club to sack him while we're in the Europa League. Do you know what I mean? Because like, and the thing is if we beat Elfsborg, I say if, not when. If we beat Elfsborg, then we'll get those weeks off and we'll be in the last 16, right? So that's going to be like, I don't know, like a month away or something, right? So are you going to sack him and give Mason the knockout run? He can't, because the whole thing, people still now talk about when he sacked Mourinho before a final. You think if he sacked Ange and let Mason take the Europa knockouts, anyone would ever let him rest ever again? No, he can't do that. But then the form is getting to a point.
That's the thing, though, Jay. Don't you think, like, and that's where I'm at with it, is if he does sack him, cool. Like many of us, and similar to you, we'd probably accept it, but there needs to be a plan. Like when you sack Pochettino, Mourinho came in within 18 hours, within like 2 days. Like that's what we need.
But this is the problem: is the quality of manager in the summer is so much higher than the quality now. So it's like you gotta, like, are you gonna make a shot? Like if Tuchel was available now, Ange might be out of a job, and I'm not joking. Like if Tuchel hadn't taken the England job right now, I think Tuchel will probably be our coach.
I don't. This is my problem, but I know everyone needs to end the show.
No,
go on. Last words.
But yeah, I think that's where my problem is, because I heard on the grapevine there was little rumors going around that we're linked with Allegri. I sat there and thought, we don't learn. We do not learn. Just get a bloody coach in. Just no. Don't get somebody that wants to win now. It just doesn't work. Ange's the wrong man. He's always been the wrong man because he wants to win now. You know what I mean? It's that stupid. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Scott Munn. It's Scott Munn. That's Scott Munn, right? That brought him in, and he's the wrong guy. He was always the wrong guy, because as soon as he's saying win now, he can't improve players. He doesn't improve work with young players. You need to bring in somebody that is going to work with young players. He hasn't brought in anybody yet.
Alex, would you agree that he helped turn the ship around in the right direction of what we needed, of what we want to be doing moving forward?
I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree. I think he's got lucky in certain way because he's got that exciting thing about him, because he wants to attack. But for me, it was the wrong guy in the first place. He doesn't use his coach. He doesn't coach. He's not that guy that goes on the training ground and coaches on the touchline doing what he's doing. You don't see his coaches doing what he's doing. You see what I'm saying? You know, getting his boots
The one
dirty
thing
and
is,
stuff
though,
like that.
just with that, Alex, I think Spurs are one of the only clubs where you're not allowed to bring all your coaches with you. So that, like, when we talk about the problem with coaches,
I think
that's a
Thomas
Daniel Levy thing
hardly
yet
does
again.
bring his coaches though. He hardly brings his coaches though.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
is
thing.
fair. But with Spurs anyway, even when Nuno wanted to bring his coaching team, he's only allowed to bring one, and that's been a problem at Spurs. So I feel like that's probably where you can look and say, coaching wise, we're not helped out there. But do you know what? Everyone makes some great points in it. My answer just on that question for Jay's question, I'll say, look, I think for me, I think you just stick it out for now because, like Jay's pointed out, I don't think any manager is going to come into this current season and lift the floor that much that it's going to make a difference. So you see it out until the rest of the season, maybe similar to what Chelsea done with Poch. You start looking around from now, trying to feel out what managers are going to come in at the end of the season. Especially if or once we come out of the trophies, season's pretty much all and done. So he's going to have to stay the course because there is no one else that can come in. And like you, Alex, I cannot stand even the thought of having Ryan Mason take us in charge again. I was waiting for him when I heard Anderlecht was in for him, I was going, yeah, please get rid of him. And that's not just because I've got anything against him personally. I just think he needs to go grow somewhere else. Maybe come back in 10 years, 11 years when you've actually coached and you've got some proper experience. But at this moment in time, you're nowhere near the level of what we need to take us anywhere. But on that note, big up to the guys for tuning in. Big up to everyone that is inside. We've still got 96 people watching. So big up to you guys, man. Big up to Alex for coming on. Make sure you guys get at everyone's channels. They are in the description. And then Jay, of course, if you want to hear more of Jay, JAYRATED JAYRATED on X. And yeah, look, thank you everyone for checking in. If you haven't already, like the damn video. I forgot to say this all stream, but I think we're close. Let's just get this video up to 50 likes. It should be fairly close. So make sure you like the video before you head out. This stream is going to go straight over to Spurs Kings, so you can hear more about what Ash is doing. He's got Ashmatic analysis going on. You might see some players, you know, Ash he's on this. He's on the scouting thing. When you want to know about Spurs scouts, Ash, someone needs to sign him up. So we're going to head over there. Make sure you hit him with a George raid. But big up to the chat. Big up to the panel. This has been another Boardroom Talks. And boy, it was a tough one, man. We'll be back.